Hello, Eric Chen here. So welcome back to the second video of this free training series. So you might be wondering why it's taking so long for this second video. Actually, I've been trying the last couple of days a few fancy equipments and trying to do some fancy video, and finally I realized that that's not me. That's not my style. I don't like doing a fancy video, spend 5 hours just to finalize one video. That's not a really good time investment for you and for me. So I want to get the message right to you as soon as possible, so you get the point, you get my point. I don't have to be pretending to be somebody I'm not. So here I'm going to do this video again in a really amateur style. I'm going to talk about the traffic sources I talked about last time. So the tier 1 traffic sources, which you can get top quality traffic, you can get really high quality conversions for your advertisers. Now I'm going to show you one by one. I'm going to give you the most important tips about this traffic. It's not a comprehensive, but it's super important. So do keep in mind just that when you this is a free video, but it doesn't mean the value is zero. If you take the message in heart, you are going to see big difference to your campaigns. All right, so let's go. So the first traffic source, of course, is Facebook. Everybody asks about Facebook. I have had a full training on Facebook for the last 2 years. I believe I have a program. It's called Massive Profit System. Basically talks about how to promote some massive appeal products on Facebook, and it covers all the areas of Facebook marketing today. I'm not going to get into Facebook. Instead, I'm going to get into something maybe you have never done before. It's called Instagram. Okay, you all know about Instagram, but not many people. I mean it, not many people. Very few people are running on Instagram. So you need to have a Facebook account to be able to run on Instagram. So why Instagram now? Why Instagram is better? Now keep in mind, if you promote CPA offers, the problem you're having right now most likely is what? Is what? Think about it. It's the customer reports. It's the visitor, the user reports. On Instagram, they cannot report you that easily, at least. And also, of course, you can have negative comments. You can have all sorts of nasty comments, but that's okay. You can delete those. So Instagram is going to be some big thing right now, and if you do it, try video ads. Okay, and actually in my training, I'm going to do a training real quick. I'm going to share a few Instagram campaigns, which is going to be awesome. It will blow your mind. All right, so next one I'm going to talk about is Twitter. Twitter is also social, right? Now keep in mind, Twitter is very interesting. Twitter is a social platform, but Twitter doesn't bother look at your campaigns. Even you do receive a lot of reports, or not reports, most likely is negative comments, but that's okay. Twitter doesn't care. At least it doesn't care. Looks doesn't care at the moment. Oh, I don't know. But Twitter campaigns, you can run almost anything, but you need to have basically cloaking on it. So you need to cloak, and initially they will have a review of your campaign. If you run some, really bad looking campaigns, they will shut down your account. But it's very easy to open new Twitter accounts. Once you have a new Twitter accounts open, you will need to wait for some time, probably 1 week, 2 weeks before you can run campaigns on it. So they give you a waiting period. That's okay. Now, if you can run anything on Twitter, keep in mind you need to make it mass appeal. Twitter is not a really good platform for niche targeting. You cannot really target to a lot of niche markets or products. But anyway, you can still run really decent campaigns on Twitter because the traffic is cheap, even though you have to pay like $2 for a campaign, but that's okay. You won't pay that much. Plus, people will retweet you, right? It's called retweet you, and when they retweet you, you get a lot of free clicks. Okay, do try on Twitter. So the next one I want to talk about is Gemini. Gemini is my favorite, actually. Gemini is Yahoo's platform native, okay, and it does have a lot of mobile traffic. It also has desktop traffic. Now Gemini make a big change, a huge improvement to their ad setup. So you can now target to desktop, most likely if you want to, most desktop if you want to, and that makes a huge difference. You cannot do this before. So Gemini is a little bit tricky. If you lose an account, which it might happen, a lot of people will lose accounts initially, you can open a new account, brand new account with the same billing information, same address, same anything. So it's funny, they allow you to open new accounts even though they shut down your last account. So you can use the same tracking domain. If you have one domain, got booted out, you can use the same domain again to set up new campaigns on the second new account. Okay, and Gemini, also keep in mind you need to run some also mass appeal, because they are, again, is native, right? It's not that niche oriented, but if you have a niche appeal, mass appeal offer, test it on Gemini. Okay. So next, let's talk about Rev Content. Rev Content is a very popular native platform, but a lot of people have trouble making it work. The reason they cannot make it work, most likely because Rev Content has a huge problem, is they have a lot of bad publishers. So a lot of people trying to make a few quick bucks from Rev Content, so they become a publisher for Rev Content. So they deliver some junk traffic or fake traffic or bot traffic, so whatever they can do to make some quick bucks. And there are a huge number of these people on Rev Content. That becomes a problem for the advertisers. When you advertise on Rev Content, you have to deal with a lot of bad widgets. They call it widgets, okay? It basically means placement. So you have to deal with a lot of placements, bad placements, but what you can do is you block out these people. You need to have a good tracking system to track which one is fake, which one is bad, which one is apparently not making sense. So once you block out these bad ones, what's left? What's left is the good ones. The good ones are going to give you detailed, decent and steady returns over time. So do try it. You might have to burn some money up front, but over time you will have a long-lasting campaign on Rev Content. I do have multiple. I spend probably a few $1,000s on Rev Content every day, because I have spent enough time to optimize my campaigns and to block out those bad apples. Okay, so what's left is decent. I get a really decent conversions on Rev Content. Now also keep in mind, Rev Content is owned by ClickBooth, I believe. It's an affiliate network, so they are friendly to affiliates. So your CPA offers, if you're using editorial, all these kind of things, you don't have to worry about. They approve you, they let it run. And initially they allow you to run some sexy images. Now they don't allow anymore, but they are very relaxed, very lenient in terms of the affiliate campaigns. So do give it a try, and also keep in mind you do not have to cloak on Rev Content. If you do cloak, it might get your accounts shut down. If you don't cloak, you show them whatever you're promoting, that's fine. That's totally cool. They're cool with it. Okay. And the other thing I want to mention, if you do see some really bad traffic, over time you may spend $1,000 or something with a bad publisher, which is a fake traffic. You can prove it to them. You give them the IP address. You give them the tracking stats you have. So they might give you credit. I got my credit from them. So okay, so give it a try. It can be a very good traffic source for you. All right, so next one, let's move on to Bing. Bing, is something not a lot of people talk about. Okay, I've been running on Bing for many years. I spent, I don't know how much, probably $1 million on it already. You might be thinking, how possible? How can you spend so much money on Bing? The reason is very simple. You pick up a good market and you run it. That's as easy as that. So do you need a cloak? Yes. And I don't run in the US. If you do run in the US, you will have a lot more traffic available. You even have the content traffic available, but I don't run in the US. I run in other countries. Even other countries, they can still have decent amount of traffic. Over time, you can spend a lot of money with the Bing. Okay. Now the way to run Bing is keep in mind, your traffic, even your bidding on search traffic, could be delivered on non-search websites. So it doesn't mean people go to bing.com or yahoo.com to search for your services. Okay, it could be, one second, I have a low power mode. Okay. Now it could be people go to Bing and go to other websites, publisher websites. That website is not even a a search website. It could be a themed website. It's about something, in a certain niche. And because your keyword is matching their website's content, so your ad will be delivered to that website. In that case, it's still targeted. It's niche oriented. It's very decent, and the conversion can be very good. Okay. Now they have a lot of cheap web traffic. Mobile traffic as well. If you have an offer converts well on mobile, do give it a try. All right. Last, let's talk about Google Adwords. Google has two kinds of traffic. Of course, everybody knows. Google has search traffic. Google has display traffic. Search traffic is similar to Bing and Yahoo. You go to the search bar, do a search, and you can find the sponsored ads. So in this case, there's not much to it. Everybody can bait a few keywords, and everybody can write ad copy. And of course, on Google, you have to cloak. If you want to run in other countries, let's say in Canada or in the UK, Australia, all these countries, you have to cloak. You can do simply geo cloaking. People may say, are they going to use a proxy to check on my ads? No, they don't. But do keep in mind, I forgot to mention one thing. Gemini, they will use proxy to check your campaigns. If you have a campaign cloaking by geo information, you need to be a little bit trickier than that. So because they are going to use a proxy to go on check your campaign. If you're cloaking and you run your campaign and they use the proxy to check on your information, they will shut you down. Of course, there are ways to get around that, and I'm not going to get into the details. Okay, that's quite complicated. Now, let's get back to Google. Google AdWords and search traffic is relatively easy, but it's a little bit limited. I don't quite like the search traffic right now. It used to be great because right now it's a little bit more expensive than I like. The ad quality has been largely affected once they take out the right how is it called? It's called the sidebar or whatever it's called. The sponsored ads you see on the side on Google is no longer there. So once they take that out, it makes the competition even fierce. So you had to be a lot higher than before to be able to show up on a good spot. So that makes the Google search no longer the perfect option for affiliates. So what I do mostly right now is Google Display. Google Display is the best traffic source you can have. Okay, if you run CPA campaigns, you run affiliate campaigns, or even e-commerce campaigns, you definitely need to look into the Google Display. Google Display is huge in volume. They have the most amount of publishers. They have all kinds of verticals, all kinds of niches you can target to, and best of all, you can easily cloak on Google. Okay, I'm going to do a training. It's called Google AdWords Bootcamp. I'm going to talk about all the details from your account setup, how you open an account, how you set up a Google AdWords account. And if you have been banned from Google before, you know how hard it is to open new accounts. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to show you a lot more things. And I'm going to show you how to warm up the account, how much money you should spend at the initial stage, and how much money you should spend when you set up the live campaign, and how fast should you scale, how you scale. You can scale to $10,000 a day if you want on Google, right? But apparently that's not a good strategy to keep your account. I'm going to show you how to do it safely, okay? And I'm also going to show you what kind of campaigns will work super well on Google AdWords. So it's a really, really long training. It's going to be 5 weeks, I think 5 weeks. 5 weeks of training, we will cover from A to Z. So once you have this training, you can go out and go to Google and do whatever you want to do. You don't have to worry about account shutdowns. You don't have to worry about quality scores. You don't have to worry about anything because I'm going to get it all covered. Okay?